Coltane rattles slow across the burning land. The wind howls through the bones of his hate-ridden command. Coltane leads a chain of dogs, ever snapping at his hand. Coltane's fist bleeds the journey home along rivers of red-soaked sand. His train howls through his bones in spiteful reprimand. Coltane leads a chain of dogs, ever snapping at his hands.
Hello, and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, a Malazan read-through podcast. Today, we're talking about Deadhouse Gates, chapters 15, 16, 17, and 18. My name is Peter Bond, and I've read each book in the main series. However, my two co-hosts are reading the series for the first time. With me today is my friend and closest confidant, India Jones.
I hate this book.
And a beautiful butterfly, Joshua Dean Baker.
That's right, but a month ago I was a pupa, beginning my journey as a cocoon, and now I have emerged with beautiful wings.
I second
You really
that.
took the ball in that. Good for you. Yeah, we can be butterflies. Anyway, Inge, I'm sidestepping your comment, Inge, because what I mean is in Gardens of the Moon, we discussed many of some shortcomings each of us felt like were in the book, you know? I don't think that book's a flawless book, right? Obviously. However, I do think that means that I'm obliged to speak about how good I think this book is. Deadhouse Gates is popping off. I love the book. I've always loved the book, and I'm loving the book again now. It is an unfettered... I'm having a spectacular time. I can't articulate it enough. So it'd be remiss if I did not enthusiastically praise the book.
I respect that, and I counter it. These 4 chapters were arguably the worst chapters of this book. The worst. I felt like I was getting teeth ripped out of my mouth. I read it, is how horrible it was.
India Jones,
I had to say that real close to the microphone just to articulate how painful these chapters were.
And Josh, how are you feeling about the start of this?
Well, it is equal parts, oh shit, it's all coming together, and just as equally, what the fuck is happening? So, you know, about the pace for Malazan.
Yeah, let's start the chapter summaries. We have so much to talk about. We got some big chapters on the table. Chapter 15. Aboard the Ragstopper, Calam learns the ship has just finished bringing weapons for the adjunct of war to 7 cities. The ship's captain is also speaking with an Imperial treasure aboard the ship. Salk Ilan sneaks up on Calam and introduces himself. Salk had arranged for the Napan captain to find him in Erin. Salk has been tracking him since Erlatan and knows about Calam's plan to visit Unta. Salk, the captain, and Calam speak in the captain's cabins. They speak of Imperial politics on 7 cities. Imperial claws have been withdrawn from Erin, leaving Laseen in the dark. The Imperial fleet has been arrested by High Fist Pormqual and are not to interfere with the Imperial treasurer. Calam returns to his cabin, suspicious of Salk Ilan, and Manala sneaks aboard the Imperial transport. Coltane's council debates what should be done. A noble-born captain urges them to retake the holy city of Ubaradad, but Coltane insists that they press on to Erin. The city would provide no real safety. Bolt doesn't believe High-Fist Pormqual would send any reinforcements there. Bolt loads the opinions of the noble and sooner suggests listening to the cattle dog, Bent. Duker steps away and hears about the wounded still marching alongside Corporal List. Duker watches Lull address the servants turned soldiers, adorning them with dog sigils. Afterwards, Duker finds the wounded List. The corporal has a vision of the god's hand dragging him past the Vathar. In Readthrough, Felisin faces becoming Shaikh Reborn. Leomin and Toblakai wait for her acceptance, while the young Perrin argues with Habor. Felisin is intrigued, wishing to oppose the Empress. She will travel to Shaik's encampment. They travel together, and Haboric speaks of the history of this land, to Leoman's annoyance. They reach a ruined city. Toblikai goes to hunt down a shapeshifter in the city. Felisin and Haboric argue about Leoman, Beneth, and becoming Shaik reborn. Leoman awaits Felisin to open the Book of Dryjna. If the Whirlwind Goddess rejects her, she will die. Mappo and Icarium, Crocus and Fiddler, stumble into the ruins of a city from the First Empire. Mappo worries that Icarium will remember that Icarium destroyed this city long ago. Icarium asks Mappo of the Nameless Ones, an ancient cult from the First Empire once sworn to a god. Iskarl Pust has been following them, and Crocus catches him. Iskarl remarks they are headed towards the true heart of Rariku, and Mappo thinks they will soon reach Tremolor. They find Apsalar and her father standing before a threshold into another realm. It would take them to Tremolor, an Azath house. Apsalar's father explains that his name is Relic. His service to Iskarl Pust brought him to Tremolor and left a false path for the shapeshifters to follow. The Azath rise to keep power in check, and the shapeshifters will be drawn to it, and not the true path of hands. The group agrees to enter the threshold, for the Malazans to try and return home through the Azath, and for Icarium to finally face himself. Josh, some chapters we just get one or two characters. We get the whole ensemble today. We're catching up with the whole damn continent. Although no Lestariel. So what's going on?
Fuck you.
Pick a storyline, Josh. You had any of them. How you feeling?
Any of them? That's a lot of. Oh, I got it. All right, we're gonna go with the Ragstopper. I think the Ragstopper is really cool because I really just thought Kalam was just gonna immediately die. And instead, we're definitely setting him up to go to another continent next book, I guess, and keep it going on his journey to fucking murder the Empress or whatever. Which is interesting. Yes, Peter?
I do think I need to intervene because my explanation wasn't that clear last week because I think I described him. I think I may have called the captain Sauk Ilan, but it's very clear now to the two of you that the captain is not Sauk Ilan, but
yes,
Sauk Ilan
yeah, I
rather
realized
hired the
while
captain.
reading. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Now it is still a little sketchy because correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so Sauk Ilan says they have a mutual friend. And I vaguely remember this mutual friend being the one that Kalam got the book from. Yes? Is that correct?
His name starts with M.
An M, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's all I
now,
got.
but when Kalam left, didn't he say some shady shit that sounded like they were gonna kill Kalam?
Well, that fixer in Gadanis bad. I'm not 100%. That dude's sketchy for sure. That's all I have to say on the subject. That's my feelings.
Gotcha.
Inge, what you think of catching up with Kalam now that Kalam's fully taken to the sea?
So I always thought he was kind of fun in a mysterious way, especially when he was chilling with his fam.
Sure.
But as always in a book like this, he quickly disappointed me.
Oh, why's that?
Well, I'm not interested. This part, it's just the freaking book. Every time, like you're understanding it, everything's good. He goes into the thing, he comes out of it, he ends up on this ship, and you're like, all right. And then something happens that makes absolutely no sense. Who are these people? Why is he there? This man that's with him now, who's like obsessed with him, which is a little bit strange. I like want to know, but I also can somehow tell that it's just irrelevant where he's going. And
well, we know where he's going. He's going to the Imperial capital.
But hasn't he always been,
Yes.
We're at the end of a book now. Is he going to get there? Probably not. Is he going to get derailed somehow? Probably. Is something going to happen? Probably. So I don't even believe he's really going to get there. Anytime soon, at least. So those are my thoughts.
Josh, do you think he's getting to Unta?
Not in this book, I would hope.
Right?
Yeah, it seems like they're set. Well, okay. Well, I mean, in a couple chapters, they see a fleet from the Empire, and at this point, the rebellion's been going on for a hot minute. And so I can't imagine it's a short, like, fucking boat ride to another continent.
It's tough. I feel so tempted to just speak about the whole swath of the Clam and Ragstopper stuff, because all of it kind of is one big story.
That sounds great. Let's do it. Fuck chapters.
I know what you mean. He sees the adjunct Tavor's fleet near the end of these chapters, which I think is kind of it's a little funny image to think about seeing a fleet like that in my mind. I struggle to visualize it, to be honest.
Well, I imagine it would be several big ships. Does that help?
Yes. Well, I know what okay.
You said yeah, triple visual.
By the way, it was Erlatan. Not Gadanis bad. I missed him up.
Dan, I got no idea what you're talking about, so it's okay.
You're good. Well, Inge, let's take a step back from the Rags chapter. We'll have our time.
Is that the name of the boat? Like, what is that?
Yeah, that's the name of the boat.
Oh, all right. Who knew?
And let's catch up. We with the chain of dogs is going on. The council is debating, and this is kind of the pre-battle, and they're kind of setting the stage for the Battle of Vathar, which I think is chapter 17.
So would it be tasteless if AJ put a "Who Let the Dogs Out" drop every time we talked about the chain of dogs?
That would be so funny. I hate the chain of dogs.
I think we can. I'm not 100% on it, but I'm gonna guess the Baha boys are big Malazan fans and that they're good with it. So
yeah, I'll look it up. Let's see.
The Baha Men.
Are they the Baha Men or they Baha boys?
The Baha boys.
No, I think they're the Baha. No, they're the boys. I think they're the men guys.
Are you sure?
No.
The Baha Men. It's the Baha boys. It's the Baha boys.
I don't know. I think
right
it's
here.
the
Baha boys.
Oh.
Does the boys have a Z?
Then what are the men?
No. Oh shit! Now it's just Baha Boy.
Oh,
they got rid of the S.
All right, no, we really got to get back on.
This is a different band. This is a different band. The Baha Men are a Bohemian.
Josh. All right, Inge. So we're setting the stage for the Battle of Vathar. Let's air it out. Is it just an extension of your Duiker beef? What's on your mind?
It is the Baha Men, and
now, okay, are we aware that Who Let the Dogs Out is their 8th studio album?
The Chain of Dogs is what we are talking
so
about.
painful. You asked me to talk about the worst thing, but okay. No, it's not my...
In 1998, they released an album called Dong Spank. How choice is that?
Josh, I swear to God.
Okay. All right. So, it's not Duiker. Is that his name? Duiker? Oh, it's not him. I actually like him because, he's a man for the people. I enjoy him. Now, it's really more so Coltane, who I can't frickin' stand.
Okay. Oh, why?
Because he's an aloof asshole.
He's just annoying. I just feel like he's just so like, I don't know, is he would you say confident, or am I just reading him wrong completely?
He's definitely got confidence, but
do you like him? Do you like him? Guys?
Josh?
I would say that he is confident because he must be confident or he will lose this. Like, he has to appear unfallible, even though, like, I think he even says to Duiker at some point that he, like, doesn't know if anything they're doing is the right plan, but, like, they got to.
I agree. There's a passage that if I were more prepared, I could allude to, but he's speaking about how he's like, well, like, basically there's an element of, like, he's bearing the emotional burden, and that, like, if he has got to pretend like he knows they're gonna make it.
Oh, all right, well,
because he doesn't know, but, like, he is, like, holding this emotional, because if he doesn't believe, how can anyone else believe, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sounds vaguely familiar, but isn't he the one who's making all of these horrible choices?
Well, he's making good choices in the bad situation.
Huh. All right. How do you figure? Isn't he the one that wants to go to this? Oh.
Yeah, he's the one that doesn't want to go to the dumb shit place.
Oh.
He's like, y'all trying to die? Then go there. Fuck y'all.
That makes sense. Oh, okay. Well, then no. He's really not that bad. I really just fucking hate the butterflies.
Yeah.
And the war talk. It's just boring. I honestly, like, low key kinda tune out his sections, and it's so, I guess, critical. I don't think so. Everything sounds irrelevant every time. But did they find Stormy in them in this chapter?
Yeah. No, that's next chapter. Next chapter is like the big Battle of Vathar chapter, so we can talk about it more there.
Yeah, because I don't really recall much of the preparation phase other than just
Yeah.
it being annoying.
Listen, let's pop off about it then, because I'd love to hear Josh speak more about his Vathar thoughts.
I bet you would like to hear Josh.
Oh
speak
my
about
god,
it.
that's okay.
Why am I even here?
Josh, do you want to take a victory lap as Felisin is facing becoming Shaik Reborn?
As of now.
Can I say we hold off on that and talk about it in the context of chapter 16 when the neck because this is
We're
really
just
just leading
diving
into what
about
happens.
chapter 16, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So chapter 16.
No. There's still stuff to talk about.
Damn it. Yeah. There's no point in this chapter. Felisin talks about maybe doing it. They walk some more. They get to a city. They keep thinking maybe they'll do it. They haven't yet. And then in the next chapter,
all that
weird
really
shit
happens is that you learn that Felisin is the one.
Oh, that kind of victory lap. Yeah, I mean, there's no point taking a victory lap when everyone fucking knew I was right. So, whoopah!
Ouch.
To be completely frank, last time we were making
How
the
can
show,
you be frank? You're Peter.
last time we were making the show, it was only the first time this time reading the book, that I even considered it could be Apsalar. I was just so in the Felisin tank, so it was very funny in a way, you know.
I literally didn't even. When I read it, I wasn't even thinking that Felisin. It was like I didn't even think of her at all. I don't know why.
But the hands. I mean, like,
I'm the
beware
only
the
person.
hands.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
I thought, well, that yes, but then I was like, no, one of those tropes.
I don't know. I was just hyped as hell, and I think it's very satisfying, that point, because in some way you can see how Seven Cities has like kind of broken her, you know, and like her armor breaks like kind of to this point of coming to the Whirlwind Goddess, you know?
No, I don't follow.
Well, like, she left Unta and has had literally everything taken away from her in a physical, emotional stance, and
now
like,
she gets to be a god.
Yeah, she all of her life was kind of taken from her. Like, she was changed, let's say, you know.
Oh yeah, boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo. Oh man.
No, that was surprising, but maybe you guys can talk to me a little more, because I was having a hard time understanding, like, why is there so much beef between Aboric and Leoman
They got bad vibes, don't they?
Yeah,
I think Leoman is really seeking to, like, he either wants to murder Felisin because he doesn't believe her, or if she is the goddess, I feel like he wants to really cement his place as second in command, which he was with the previous Shaik, right? And he sees Haboric as, like, really the only thing stopping him from being this big influencer on Shaik.
I read Leoman as very insecure and kind of like he's very protective. He's like very protective. Do you mean he's like,
yeah,
this is my thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He also doesn't believe in the religion, I think, which Haboric like points out, and he really does not like that it's pointed out.
Yeah.
How did he find them? How did they find them?
They were wandering in the desert.
And they literally just stumbled upon them, and they saw a young girl, and they were like, it's you.
Haven't you all been stumbling in the desert and just found people that miraculously were the right thing for you at that time?
I mean, one could say it seems almost like there was a type of divine intervention or something, you know?
Ooh, Deus Ex Machina.
All right, that's not what I mean. I just mean I feel like I've always taken it as kind of the, you know, they were drawn to the whirlwind. I mean, like, everything was kind of leading her to this moment, you know, and I don't think it was a coincidence, you know. I don't think she just stumbled into it. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
And then I was going to ask another question, and it was forgot it.
Was it about where's Lestariel?
No, it was absolutely not that. That was absolutely not my question. It was about Felisin, and it was about. I'll get back to it.
Listen, we're going to talk about her more next chapter.
Yeah.
So before we move on to that chapter, though, we check in with the Tremolor group as they come to the threshold. They do we learn that Icarium destroyed this entire city, and then they meet Apsalar and her dad.
I would say this was more of a Tremble snore to me.
Tremble snore.
See, and this is the stuff. This is the content that I actually enjoy.
No, it is
I'm
cool.
All
but we
here
don't.
for
I was just trying to make a joke. It is interesting.
No, it's okay. I hate the battle stuff. You can hate whatever you want, Josh. You don't have to like it.
I was just trying to make a joke.
Well, it was a good joke. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Inge, what you think of if you were why were you interested in this section? You say
Because I love when they have like real conversations about feelings. And
me too.
Icarium and Mappo is just so sad. It's so upsetting because Icarium
such a
is
sad
so
boy.
sad, and he can't even look at him in the eyes. He's just so upset. Oh, and Icarium's realization, he's like, "Hey, this looks familiar." And
It's
he's
real rough
like,
to watch.
I was like, "What? No, what? You? No?"
Throwback Thursday.
And is it Fiddler? Fiddler is there, and he's like, "It couldn't have been you." And
Yeah.
it's just so freaking sad. I feel he's just a gentle giant. God, just let him be.
He is a gentle giant, isn't he?
Yeah, so I really liked that. And then, yeah, we're going to need to literally, I'm going to need a whole conversation.
Yeah, well, I assume we're going to have a whole Tremolor themed discussion.
It Carl Puss. Ooh,
Oh, about a Skrull. What about a Carl Puss?
Where did he even come from? How did he get there?
They were.
And why is he there?
he was-
Is he crazy? These are all my questions. Go ahead.
All right, Josh, what do you got? Do you know how he got there?
He was following them, right?
No, I don't.
He was following them, but as established, Relic was like leaving a fake path of hands. So I assumed he was following the fake path of hands. And
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about it that hard. I just was like, fucking this girl Puss. Can't have a story without this motherfucker.
Yeah, but why do you guys feel that way? Like, I feel like I'm meeting him for the first time, kind of.
Oh, no.
That's just his charm. Every time you meet him, it's an entirely new experience.
And every time I hope it's the last. And it never is.
He's so weird. This whole, he's saying something, and I'm just like, what are you saying? Just fucking say it.
Just finish a sentence.
Yeah, literally, he's like, oh god. And then the guy who reads the audiobook, he is just so obnoxious when he does this voice. I'm like, oh, but
see, that's the benefit of reading the book. I don't have voices for any of them.
it's true. That's true. But yeah, so okay, what is the issue with him being there? Why are they so pissed?
Because like High House, Shadow Throne's meddling, you know.
How do they
you know?
Shadow? Where does he pull him in? Why? How does he come into this?
Well, Scarl Puss is the high priest of Shadow, so.
And that means.
Oh, I don't know. I just like he's just an unwanted presence, and his connection to Shadow Throne and gods and all this power is just like a further complexifier.
He's a shit starter, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's accurate.
Okay, understood. Because that whole thing just made no sense to me. I was like, why are you guys so pissed?
Josh, how do you feel about them choosing to like take this Azath route and go into the place?
My exact thought process was, what if we turned around, went back, got a nice house, a bed, raised some crops. That all
You're
sounds...
saying they should go ahead, settle down in 7 cities.
No. Fucking leave this dog shit continent that's about to explode with rebellion and a army coming in to end the rebellion. Fuck this place. Go find a nice uninhabited island, bring a sheep, start a sheep farm, have a nice life. Fuck this noise. We don't need to go into a house of the Azath.
A peaceful drifting
Let's
island.
talk about that Azath house.
I don't wanna.
We got so much.
I don't get it.
Listen, I think we should just pop in, keep on going, because all of the storylines are really flowing together, so we're just going to return
that's
as they
the issue,
develop.
Peter. That they're not. They're not flowing together for your girl end.
But I mean, it's like each chapter continues each one. But the thing is, like, next chapter, this is the only one with all 4. Next chapter doesn't have them all.
So let's pop to the next chapter. Let's get it going.
Let's do it. Chapter 16. The chain of dogs nears the Vathar River. Duiker looks out on the forest, covered in monarch butterflies. Corblo Dom's army is ahead of them. List speaks of what may be across the river Vathar. Together, Diker and List rides to join the foolish dog. They see the lapdog now leading the cattle dog. Diker joins the foolish dogs and they enter the forest. The butterflies flock to the sky, more of a hindrance than the forest itself. They reach the river and see it littered with the dead insects. 3 men have made camp next to a charred ship on the riverside. Stormy, Gessler, and Truth meet Diker and Nether. The trio recognize Diker from when the rebellion first began, while Duiker speaks to the trio and the trio joins the army. The foolish dog set up a perimeter. Corblo Dom's army is across the river cutting down trees. Stormy takes Nether and Duiker upstream in a small boat, and he recounts the journey into the flooded Warren and on the Salandra. Upstream, they find rebel soldiers crossing the river using only ropes and not the fallen lumber. They return to the Foolish Dog clan and find the Wiccans surrounded. Coltane will load wounded onto the Salanda and send them away. Lull meets Stormy and Gessler, identifying the two as veterans of Emperor Kellenved's old guard. Lull promotes truth and wishes to promote Gessler, but he refuses. After Gessler jokes with Bolt, Coltane strikes the man. Stormy and Gessler's skin have been bronzed, and Coltane's fist bounces off. Stormy and Gessler verge on ascendancy, and Coltane has made them bleed. A rider from Corblo Dom's army arrives, offering to let the refugees cross the river as a gesture of peace before negotiating the surrender at the last Malazan-occupied city, Erin. Nobles hear the offer, but Coltane rejects it. 2 days away from the oasis, Haboric and Leomin argue about the path forward. They open the book and they all see different things. First Leomin, then Toblakai. Haboric refuses to touch the book with his ghost hand. Toblakai attacks him, and Felisin, possessed, allows it to occur. Haboric repels Toblakai with one bestial hand. Fenir has empowered him for this reason, and Felisin demands the Book of Drychna. Crocus leads them into the Warren. They find a large boulder typical of the Talon Warren, marked by bloody paw prints. Deeper in the forest, they find the roots of the Azath, and Crocus thinks of the Azath that sprouted in Darujistan. They make camp despite Iskaralpust's protestations, and Mappo speaks to Relic. Relic is happy to have his arm back and to be reunited with his daughter. Mappo wakes again in the night to hear Apsalar and Icarium speaking. Apsalar speaks of the weight of memories on her life, a weight Icarium longs for. In the morning, Mappo and Icarium speak. Icarium plans to defend the Azath from the shapeshifters, but Mappo forbids it. While arguing, Mappo explains to Icarium that in battle, his rage is so great that it cannot be controlled, that Icarium has destroyed cities and civilizations in these frenzies. Icarium, knowing that the Azath would imprison him for his crimes, chooses to walk to Tremolor. Crocus calls on Iskarl to summon Shadowthrone. Puss refuses, but the Hounds of Shadow answer. They all know of Icarium's power. The group plans to defend him and aid him so that he does not enter this frenzied rage. Duiker shares tea with Gessler, Lull, and Bolt. Gessler will lead the ship to Erin and try to rally the High Fist Pormqual. Gessler rows to the Salanja, and the other Wiccan leaders join Duiker. Sormo Enath and his warlocks are struggling to wield their sorcery. The leaders are surprised when a nobleman comes to confess that the Council of Nobles has taken Corblo Dom's offer and will cross the river. Coltane feels he can't stop it. The sappers join the refugees waiting across the river, and the Wiccans are guided to the front. Floating bridges are filled with rebel soldiers that rain arrows down on the Wiccans and the refugees. The Wiccans have reached the woods on the other side, catching Corblo Dom off guard. Sormo Enath attacks the bridges downstream, destroying them. However, he is littered with arrows falling into the river. Thousands of butterflies converge on the warlock as Sormo falls. Across the river, the Wiccans cheer in victory, but Duiker finds the noble leader Nethpara. Duiker chokes the noble leader in a rage, but is pulled back and hit on the head before he can kill the nobleman. Man, I said Duiker, Diker, I said his name every way you possibly could. There's no getting around it. But India, Jones, you were speaking about the butterflies, and we're here at the butterfly battle here in the River Vathar. What is your beef with the butterflies?
What do they do?
What do you mean? They're just flying around, monarch butterflies.
So why do they all land on the body and shit? What are they doing? And why are they doing it? Don't play me, Peter.
I'm not playing you.
Don't you fucking play her, Peter.
I'm just saying I like
This girl deserves to know the truth.
I just like the butterflies, and I was surprised when we were coming out against them.
They are sinister, and I don't know why, which makes it even more sinister.
Josh, do you think they're sinister?
No, I think it's just like a fucking morbid, like, view, because they're just all dead in the water, and it's kind of gross.
Yeah, like, why? Like, just why? If there's no reason, then why? Whatever. Honestly, I can't. And beyond that, let's talk about this whole little sitch.
The whole
happened.
battle, because the nobles try
No,
to
the
cross.
sitch,
We
Peter.
catch up with Stormy and Gessler.
I
can I-
love them.
Yeah, they're a treat. Can I pop in real quick on those two?
Sure.
Please.
So Stormy and get like there's the throwaway line, and you highlighted it in the chapter. Yeah, great, they're alive. They survived the burning fucking warren or whatever. Whoop-de-doo, they're golden. But
Literally.
they are nearly ascended, and I guess Coltane making them bleed makes him almost or fully ascended. Is that what we're supposed to understand?
Well, I think to me, all these things can kind of be blurry. I just take it to mean like, damn, look at Coltane making these people bleed. You know, it's like it's
All right,
like
India. That was a confirmation from him. Coltane's ascended or nearly ascended.
I don't.
You heard it here
I
first.
don't. I didn't say that. I don't know what we're.
Well, Peter, it's not about what you say; it's about what you don't say.
That's
all right. And you didn't say
Coltane?
no. You didn't say no.
I thought
Okay.
we were talking about Stormy and
We are
Gessler,
talking about.
but Coltane punches Gessler and draws blood.
How do you guys
and-
imagine their bronze skin? It's very hard.
Can
for,
I talk? Can I fucking finish?
No, I was actually
Oh,
pivoting
shit.
away from.
Can I fucking finish? All right. So Coltane punches Gessler, and that makes Gessler bleed. But they're
Okay,
like,
okay.
oh shit, he's really made of gold or some shit. He's nearly ascendant. Or Sormo Enath says that. And then they're like, but what does that make Coltane? Toto! You know, and Law and Order sound.
Sormo Enath went down. Our favorite boy warlock.
He was a
He
boy.
died?
Well-
Yes, remember?
Yeah, he took an
No.
arrow in the throat and fell into the river.
And
so,
then fell in the water.
Better
and then
than
the
an arrow
butterflies
to
went
the
on top
knee.
with him.
Am I right, Skyrim fans?
so
Where are my gamers?
Not here.
not here, not on this call right now.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, we were both
Christ.
Yeah, was that supposed to be impactful?
It wasn't particularly impactful for me,
I
but
want to hear it. I want to get Steven Erickson back on the horn just so Indy can say shit like that to him.
it wasn't
No.
particularly impactful for me. But I mean,
I love
like
this book.
I don't know. Sorbo's chill. There's a lot of kid warlocks around, though. You know,
Yeah, exactly. We have a plethora. Nether, nil.
Yeah. The other ones?
the end of list.
I
No. It was just worth shouting out. I like Soraya, so I just
felt bad, and Duiker,
He
he
was
was
just- yeah, he was
very
trying his
upset.
best.
He was very upset. He was like, "Why are you cheering? This is the worst day. Everyone died, and it's all your fault. You fools."
Yeah, like legit though. How about
Yeah.
them nobles? Them nobles just be doing it.
They are the most foolish people.
Listen, I know Twitter did not enjoy it, but again, if he had just killed them all,
We
it
ain't
would have
wrong.
been fine.
The nobles are
ain't-
and
different
I'm
than the
still-
refugees, and I think that
Well,
should.
no, they're all the same. Okay, well, no, they're not all the same. The nobles are fucking the worst.
The nobles
How
are
they
just
not all
some
the
of them.
same?
I mean,
Well, because
They're
he
rich
bought the
refugees.
servants and gave them swords. I think that's what he should have done from the get-go. He should have been like, all right, who's taking up a sword? And then
Yeah.
if they did take up a sword, bye.
Yeah,
You know.
and you are.
I do
Gonna
like
die.
the image of the floating bridges, though. I can't really imagine it in a way that isn't somewhat goofy. So
I
it's,
didn't imagine it either.
I really struggled. I couldn't do it.
I just thought that
Um,
they were. I just imagined things coming out of the sky. Really.
Well,
I don't know where the
I think they were
skies
floating on the
come in.
water.
But
Can you
All right.
imagine though, like people just chilling and then out of nowhere, boom, 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 boom from everywhere?
Yeah, it sounded like it was a fucking hellscape, to be
Oh.
honest.
yeah, I mean,
Wait, hold on, Mom.
oh my god,
Can you give
Did
Bella
not see that
treats?
Mom,
I
do
forgot
we
about
have
her.
any bagel bites?
PV with the fucking hot stepbrothers references.
All right, guys,
Yeah.
I'm back. So sorry about that.
I'm hoping that makes it into the podcast.
Save. Yeah.
Alrighty. I like this battle a lot, and I think it's my favorite battle in the Chain of Dogs thus far. So
Well, it doesn't have turtle sappers, so it's really kind of taken a step down for me. I mean, in this battle, the plan for the sappers was, all right, you ready? We're gonna dress like refugees and then fight people. And it's like, that's not great.
see, I guess
There's probably a better way.
I like this battle the most because I feel like some of the other battles are just like, it's somewhat like competency porn. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, man, the soldiers are
Oh, yeah,
the
you're not
soldiers are
wrong.
really good and they did that very well, you know?
Yeah.
It's not entirely
True.
that, but it's about a plan being executed. Whereas this is like a much messier thing, and I think that ultimately it makes me more excited, to read the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to add, or are we actually drifting downstream away from this Battle of Athar?
Fuck you.
We are.
So Josh, Josh, sound like you had.
So I'm gonna step over. I'm gonna take the reins here.
Okay.
Take the reins of this horse we call a podcast, and we're gonna move over to Felisin.
That's what I was gonna ask you that, Josh.
Peter,
you don't need
Peter,
to steal.
I'm gonna talk, Peter. I'm talking about Felisin.
Josh, I wanted that. I knew you had Felisin.
AJ, can you mute him here, please? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So Josh.
So I'm gonna talk about Felisin. All right. Hey, there's some bullshit. Here.
Why?
Starting here and moving forward is where we hit what I call the bullshit, which is the other three people open the book, or maybe Haboric doesn't, and at the very minimum, Leomin and Tobakai do.
They do.
But then why the fuck is Felisin suddenly like, ooh, I've got Shaik inside of me? Like, there's no moment. It's just like this paragraph, it's all chill, and then she says some weird stuff about Haboric, and then next chapter, it's like, the goddess is inside of me. I have her memories and her thoughts, but also I'm myself. I don't get it. Like, she didn't even read the book.
Yeah.
Is she never gonna read the book? Is that the whole shtick? Is that she's powerful without it? But then why even have the goddamn book?
Because, Josh, she already, in the whirlwind reached her lowest point, and in my mind, I don't know,
That's not how this works. There's a book.
Yeah, if you touch the book and you die, you're not her. Touch the fucking book. Prove it.
But she already is her, is the point.
Put your money where your mouth is,
and
Felisin.
how? Other people have hit their lows in this goddamn desert when they've been dying on stakes.
I hit my lows in that desert.
Why is she the one that gets to be picked?
Randomly.
But, I guess. Listen, I don't know.
He doesn't, it makes no sense. Should have been.
It
annoyed the crap out of me.
To me, I think it makes a lot of sense, and we can disagree about that. So I think I guess my apprehension is maybe there's some magic that I don't know about, and I'm just reading it in the wrong way, So it could be wrong. But to me, thematically, I understand that Felisin has been brought to her lowest point already. She has been brought all the way to Seven Cities, all the way through all these gauntlets to the whirlwind, and has been brought there so close and then brought to this point to the Book of Dryjna. She already is Shaik Reborn in that moment. Do you know what I mean? Sure, she didn't open the book or whatever, but quintessentially, she has already been this rebel leader reborn. Do you know what I mean? That's how I feel.
Her voice changed in the book. I mean, in the audiobook. She talked a little
but then why was there a book, Peter? Why was there a book?
Because, Josh, the book is a red herring, and I feel.
I don't know what that
From
means.
who? From who?
I don't know. I feel like you're getting hung up on, I don't know,
the central plot device and item of the whole goddamn book. Yeah, I am a little hung up, Peter.
And then she's like, I don't know why you don't believe me. And he's like, I don't know why you don't touch the book. And she's like, well, blind loyalty is a thing, so why don't you have it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. He should be loyal. So I'm
Why should he be loyal?
With what proof?
She didn't touch the book.
With what proof?
God.
With what proof? I could change my voice too and say that I'm Shaik Reborn, and am I?
But clearly she
is.
It's
me, Shaik.
I believe I was brought to my weakest point this week.
It's not believable.
Man, I did not think this is what we were going to pop off about today.
I texted you that I was annoyed by it and that it made no sense.
I think it makes plenty of are you just hung up on the book logistics of it?
I'm hung up on when and how she becomes a literal god reborn.
Yes.
A pretty important thing.
Can't
she
just
has
happen
the
overnight.
Memories of Shaik Reborn.
Did she even prove that?
How?
Tell me
how. When did those memories get in her body?
In the whirlwind. She was reborn.
She
went off screen?
Yeah, off page.
In my mind, the moment she kind of steps, the moment she approaches the Book of Dryjna, she kind of has. So that's my head.
You know what, Peter? Maybe we should all just go in your mind then,
Yeah, how about that, fucking Mr. Right over here?
Yeah.
I can't even tell you if I'm right or not. All I know is, because maybe logistically I'm wrong, but 100% I am following it on a thematic sense. That's where Peter's journey is at. Maybe there's some details I've missed. That's all I've got to say.
Wait.
All right, well, let's go to the next section.
Oh my God, really popped off. Also,
Yeah.
Haboric's making up with the boar god, Haboric and Fenir.
Yeah, I couldn't give less of a shit. He's a grumpy old man right now. He needs to get it together.
I respect him.
Wow.
He's just trying to be like, he's just trying to do his day to day and call these people out for their bullshit, because that's what it is. And also, they keep threatening to kill him, which is kind of annoying. I don't know.
I agree. I don't think people are always dumping on Haboric.
And then he has to bring out those hands.
Yeah. All right. Whew. Oh my gosh.
All right, so up next we see Crocus and the gang.
What do we,
I'm going to the next part of the chapter.
Josh? I don't know if you know. I kind of, I like.
I don't understand what's the issue.
Uh,
Peter, okay, so next up, Crocus and the gang
Josh.
go into the Azeth house. So Peter, how do you feel about this journey that Crocus has really been on throughout the first two books,
My God.
from simple thief and now in the Azeth house with these big players? How do you feel about
it's
that?
interesting you bring up Crocus. Great question, Josh. You're doing a spectacular
Thank you.
job.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
I would say this. I think, and I almost remarked about Fiddler earlier. I think it's funny because, the Bridge Burners had so much attention in book one, and Fiddler's Bridge Burner, and but now, in the Seven Cities storyline, Fiddler is not as relevant as,
Would you say he's been playing second fiddle?
yes, I would say that. And, I feel the same way about Crocus in a way. It's interesting, when I think about Crocus, he is also incredibly not powerful, especially compared to the rest of the party he is
such
with,
a bitch.
So
Yeah. We've been saying it since
all
day
he does
one.
is cry. All he does.
it's why I like Crocus so much. But
Why won't my girlfriend not be
Yeah,
a god
exactly.
and just like me?
When are we gonna hook up?
so I just think it's interesting that Crocus,
I miss Chalice.
Crocus is just always around,
He's just
Hey,
palling around.
listen, maybe Crocus misses Chalice, and that's all right,
That's a bad choice. All
Yeah.
right.
Let's leave it at. Let's leave it where it was.
So, okay. So obviously
I can't.
All right.
So obviously this part of the chapter really sets us up for the next two.
India, we hear Mappo and Icarium have Mappo overhears Icarium and Apsalar having a beautiful heart-to-heart. How did you feel about all these campfire scenes we got?
Nothing I love more than my two favorite characters discussing their feelings.
Preach.
Is this the part I didn't realize that they were having a heart-to-heart, I think, but is this when she's talking about how the old lady was in her?
Yeah.
And that was sad and nice at the same time, because
they were bonding.
because it's just, they both are battling opposite things, and it's like one would kill for what the other one has. It's just, it's poetic in a way.
It is poetic. Yeah.
But that's my Erickson.
yeah.
No, yeah, but I don't know. I never really. It's so interesting because he thinks about things in a way that I wouldn't even I would never put those two and two things together. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb, but that conversation I feel was really important, and I don't know. It made me feel things that I didn't think that I could feel for this
Wow.
book.
And just you liked it as well, or what feelings?
I felt sad. I just feel very sad for Icarium. Whenever he speaks, and the voice that they use for him in the audiobook is so soft and just so innocent. And he's just I don't fucking know. I'm a monster. I'm horrible. I hate everything, especially myself. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, having 39 people's memories really sucks. So, good conversation. Tell me your feelings, Peter.
I love that conversation, and to me, I've been thinking about Mappa and Icarium a lot more this second read through, especially now at the end when we learn more about their kind of history and kind of how we've reached this point, because for a while we were kind of playing footsies with what exactly was going on with them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Especially, in this chapter, we do learn about Icarium's, that he just goes into these frenzies and destroys civilizations, which seems like pretty big news. Josh, how did you feel about that kind kind of reveal about the power of Icarium's rage.
It was good to be confirmed. Like, I feel like we've been being led to that for a while,
Yeah.
but like with Erickson, honestly, whenever he leads me to something at the last second, it's an illusion. So I was glad this one was like, oh, it isn't. Okay, we did
I
it.
feel like it's
Yeah,
at a
yeah.
grander scale than what I was imagining, honestly, though. Like,
Yeah.
I was not expecting this to be a recurring event where multiple people have to guardian him and usually don't make
Yeah,
it.
that fucked me up. That fucked me up. Like, Mappo's been doing this for how long that he's, like, literally forgotten parts of his life, and he's not the first, but, like, the last in a long line.
That's what's
like,
crazy.
Fuck.
And but I feel like he's just like, it's my guy, you know? He ain't scared. He's a little scared, but he ain't scared.
Yeah. He's a gentle giant. And then finally, yeah.
Have we crushed it?
And the only other person who speaks in this time is we finally get a chance to hear from Sorry's dad.
Irrelevant.
Relock.
Yeah, he's a chiller. I don't know if I have much to say about that bad boy.
I don't really know anything about him. Why is he trying to be like so dad? It's like, chill out, man. When was the last time you guys hung out?
Well, that wasn't his fault.
Let's pivot and start the next chapter. Chapter 17. Aboard the Ragstopper, the captain is drunk. Kalam watches Sauk Ilan carefully, and Pormcall's treasurer has joined them. In the middle of a fierce storm, 2 pirate ships are tailing them. The captain has decided to attack and leave the cabin. Sauk argues with the Imperial treasurer, who storms off in response. On the deck, Kalam inquires about who the soldiers are loyal to, the captain or the treasurer. The Marines would serve the captain if the treasurer were to perish. The Ragstopper rams into the pirate ship. A battle ensues. Sauk and Kalam rescue a wounded captain and discuss what should be done with the treasurer. In the morning, they learn that the treasurer has arranged to surrender some of the Imperial treasury to board the second pirate ship as a hostage. Kalam rallies the Marines to resist the treasurer, and the second pirate ship attacks. A pirate mage summons a reptilian and Carl, and a great battle ensues. The Marines kill the beast, Sauk Ilan kills the pirate mage, and Kalam knocks out the treasurer. After the battle, they burn the pirate ship and throw the treasurer to the sharks. Felisin draws near the oasis, the whirlwind in the distance. She adorns herself in the wear of Shaik and will not yet open the book. On the sea, Kalam sees the adjunct Tavor Perrin leading an Imperial fleet to Seven City. The assassin Sauk Ilan offers to partner with Kalam, a duo working together. Kalam refuses. He already has a partner. Josh, earlier, you really wanted to speak about the Ragstopper's plot entirely, and this is our biggest section of speaking about the Ragstopper. So, we pretty much get the whole sea swashbuckling journey. How'd you feel?
Well, all this did was solidify that I like pirates and always want to be reading about pirates and people on the sea.
Nice.
Yeah, I was really into it. The captain of this ship is such a fucking wild card because, man, like, people are like there's parts of me that think there must be something weird about him, like he's got to have some sort of weird magic, or the boat's magical or something. I don't know, but like seeing him drunk as shit trying to like talk and stuff, and them talking about like how long we really been out here, boys. You know, it was I was so into it.
I didn't know he was drunk.
Oh my God,
yeah,
he's like hammered.
he's fucked up.
I just thought he was crazy. It's funny. Go ahead.
No, this. And here's another thing I want to say is, why does every single character in this book series have to have a hidden agenda? Why couldn't the treasurer?
Facts.
Why couldn't the treasurer just be a piece of shit? But why is he why is he gotta be a piece of shit who also has relatives who are pirates? Question mark.
So good, and he's like, "Oh, it's my uncle's friend's cousin's
is my
dog."
uncle and my cousin. So like, good luck with that.
It's some fucking bull. I was so pissed. Oh my God! Like, why does he have to do this and do all this shit? He literally has his life made. What more do you want? You're a fucking imperial treasurer.
You control that money.
Is dumb
That
as shit.
bread.
Yes.
God,
God.
Inge, what's your read on Sauk Ilan?
He's
We didn't
so
talk about him
sketch.
much.
he's sketchy and he's weird and he's obsessed with Kalam. I don't know why. I don't know what his agenda is. He's like, let's be partners. Like, you work really well with a partner. Do you want one? And he just freaks me out.
It's a little flirty, isn't it?
Honestly, kind of. And then he was like, you can't kiss me or whatever. And he's like, I can't even give you one. I'm like, yes, this is the content I live for, but also respect boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a picture of Salkilan. There's not really
Josh,
much.
I would not be Googling any names.
I'm only on images. I'm only on images.
I would still just not Google images what are we doing?
Sorry. I have a feeling he's going to be, like, not good. But
he's going to be bad, right? He's going to do something shitty.
Yeah, I think he's pretty bad. And but good thing Manala, who is there somewhere, wherever she is.
But she's on another boat, right? She's on the big boat that the fist was on.
Shit.
Right? She snuck on with the good horse.
All boats are all boats to me.
She's got the good horse.
She's got the good horse. She's on the big boat. This is the small boat with the treasurer.
She's a
Yes.
A soldier.
Yeah.
They also see we mentioned earlier, they see Adjunct Tavor's fleet.
Yes. Yeah, that's I didn't see that coming, honestly.
Is that
because
Felisin's sister?
For whatever reason I just that's Ganos'
that's
sister.
The third and final parent kid.
Yes. Which one's the youngest, Tavor or Felisin?
Felisin's the youngest.
Felisin's the youngest, and Ganos is the oldest?
I think Ganos is the oldest, but I'm not 100%.
And then is Tavor the one that he talks with, like, briefly in book 1, or is that with Felisin?
He speaks to Felisin in book 1, yeah.
What?
Okay, got you. Yeah, it's real brief, India. We didn't give a shit about him yet.
Well, there's a very small scene, and it's very interesting that you see Tavor, Felisin, and Ganois together, but, like, in book 1, you don't understand the sisters are relevant.
Can we say, it is implied in book 1, isn't it, that when he comes back to life from Hood, that it's going to cost someone in his family their life?
Yes, it's assumed it's their ailing older father.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
That's like a blink and you'll miss it line, though.
Yeah, I didn't catch that my first time through, obviously.
I do want to say, man, these Malazan Marines are real badass until they aren't. Until they're just all fucking wiped out.
They all died.
Yeah.
What was that giant thing?
It's called an Encaral.
I was
it's a big old beastie.
Low-key sad when they killed it.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, it did murder a lot of people, but
facts.
Yeah.
But Josh, is murder that bad according to you?
I mean, well, listen, if it's for the right reasons, no. But you know that about your boy.
That's gonna be a hard take to go with.
Oh, man, it summons an Ankara, a bright yellow winged reptile with a 20-foot wingspan. Brutal.
So how did you feel about the pirate skirmish on the sea?
What's a skirmish?
I just mean that the other fights we have are sometimes, now, especially with the Chain of Dogs, like big military battles. And this is more of a brawl, a melee, if you will.
Yeah, this is funny. It was stupid. I don't know. What was important about it? They all had their little short knives. They're stabbing each other. It seemed very violent, though. It was a very violent fight. Like, a lot of stabbing in weird places.
It was very knifey.
Yeah. Little short swords and what have you. Long knives.
It was a scrap.
It was. But I would say they all were doing, their thing. And then that giant thing came and they were like, well, fuck.
Yeah. The only other thing at the end, they really have the treasure. The treasurer gets his comeuppance, so to speak.
Peter, you use words that I've never heard.
Comeuppance? No, that's, that word.
No.
Like, he gets what's coming for him.
Do they throw him in the ocean and he gets eaten by sharks?
That's exactly what they do. He gets thrown in the ocean and gets eaten by sharks.
Yeah, that was good.
Great.
That was some good shit. I loved it. What did they do to the captain's hands? Because I was hearing the word blood and ribbons and I was horrified.
So the captain fought off one of the guards, but to do so, it sounds like he just fucking grabbed the guy's sword when he swung it at him and stopped it with his bare hands.
Yeah, the captain's pretty injured after the brawl.
Yeah, which I think you could describe as hard as fuck.
I agree. That was pretty hard as fuck. I was wondering though, oh God, the way the descriptions of
not great
injuries are so nasty. Oh,
yeah.
But great book all around.
We do live in these fleshy bodies.
Yeah, God, they are not meant to last.
Or get struck by swords.
Yeah, and caught.
Technically, Felisin's in this chapter too, and
it's so small. I saw.
But I don't know if anyone has anything to say. Really, it's just she's drawing to, she's getting close.
She's obnoxious.
All right, I don't like it when the two of you antagonize her because it forces me into becoming #1 Felisin defender, and I'll take up that mantle. It's just like I feel like it overstates.
You're upset because you know it's wrong.
It's a cross
It just
you must
overstates
bear,
my
but...
emotions. I just think you're wrong, and I think we all know it. Anyway.
All right, next up.
Wow.
Chapter 18. Icarium finds the corpses of the Nameless Ones, and memories return. A destroyed Trell town. A nameless priest commanding Icarium always to have a guardian. And this priest using a staff to injure Icarium's memories. Mappa worries about the credibility of Icarium's memories. He has seen the massacre and the priest as well. The Nameless Ones are a cult of the Azath, and Mappa identifies the corpses to the others. The Scarl Pust reveals that Dancer has talons execute those disloyal to Kellenbed after they entered the Deadhouse. Apsalar scolds the rambling Ascarl, and Mappa speaks of his own relationship with the Nameless One. The cult visited this Trell town and appointed the guardians of Icarium. Fiddler leads them into Tremolor. In the roots around the Azath, hell has broken loose. The group walks through a passage and beasts assault on all sides. Shapeshifters siege the maze of roots and the Hounds of Shadow split up. Messim, the soul-taken bear, chases an Encarl. Mappo kills the Encarl and Rude attacks the bear. Both beasts are dragged into the walls. Only the strongest will survive this gauntlet and reach the Azath. The Hounds reunite, but Icarium is enraged at the return of the shapeshifter Grillin. Approaching Shaik's camp, a child stands guard. Felisin learns the orphans of the rebellion are unnamed. Felisin decides to take them under her wing. Leoman leads them further into the basin. The oasis is the last remnants of a city, and First Empire gardens and courtyards speckle the encampment. An army of 40,000 wait here to resist the Empire. And Leoman says they will use Malazan tactics to strengthen themselves. Felisin will meet with the rebellion's high mages, but before, she addresses the rebellion's army upon a dais. Toblakai demands everybody kneel, and most of the army does. Felisin speaks of war against the Malazans and the last city to be liberated. The holy city of Aaron. Then she lifts a spear of sand and whirlwind to rally her army. Around Tremolor, our heroes are being overwhelmed. The rats to Ivor Grillin has grown in strength and they cannot flee. Icarium raises his sword to the sky, beginning to frenzy, but Fiddler throws his last cusser. However, in his bag was not a cusser, but rather Tano Spirit Walker's conch shell. The shell erupts, knocking everyone out, and Fiddler has a vision of the sea. Fiddler stands, and the Hounds of Shadow surround Icarium. Scarl threatens to take the Jag, and Fiddler defends him. Mappo calls Fiddler friend for this, and Mappo lifts his companion's body. Together, they press on, and they can now see the Azath. All right, India. Tremolor popped off. All the animals in the world, come on in. It's a full-on zoo out here in and around the Azath house.
And this is because of them leading a trail. Wasn't the trail supposed to lead them far away from this house? How did they get here? How did they find it?
No, it's a trick. You see, they thought the Path of Ascendancy was to the Azath house, but it's actually underneath the Temple of Shadow. But they led the false path here. It's like kind of a decoy place in a way.
This is some bullshit.
And also we got to shout out underneath the temple. You remember there's those scenes where Mappo and Icarium are kind of walking around,
yes.
And the two of you didn't really know what it was, but that's what it is. So if you go back, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, okay, cool.
With all the stuff on the walls.
Yeah, remember there's like vivid description. There's like some scarred hold markings and all this stuff.
Wow.
Anywho's, but before the house really pops off, and we learn a lot about the nameless ones. What is your comprehension on them and kind of what we learn about this ancient First Empire cult?
This is an unfair question, and I think you know that. Well, is Icarium more than just a jag? Is he
Wait,
It's not that he's more than just. I think Jahags are just that fucking powerful.
Did he have an entire?
He's half blood.
He had an entire following.
No. He didn't have a following. No.
Then what happened?
Okay, correct me if. So okay, I think
yeah, Josh,
I got
you
it.
take a stab. What's your nameless one knowledge?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so what I've got. Okay, so what I've got potentially is there's the Azath.
Sure.
And are they the First Empire?
No.
Okay, so the Azath are just a people that we don't know a lot about yet. And the Nameless Ones kind of worshipped them, I believe, and the things they left behind.
Mm-mm.
Is that right? I don't know, dude. This part I was also pretty above me.
Peter can't even explain it. That's the worst part.
Man, so we're pretty much at ground zero. It's tough because I'm trying to just mind it carefully. The Nameless Ones are a cult that worship the Azath houses, you know? And the Azath houses are kind of places, you know? And they have these staves that are the wood of the Azath house, in a way.
Ew, okay, interesting.
And they speak about how yeah. So that's the gist of them, so to speak.
So it means nothing, is what you're telling me.
No, that's not. I know it means exactly what I just told you.
What's the
they're
relevance?
a cult that worship the. Okay.
Fuck it.
We also learned that many of them were killed after the Emperor Dancer ascended. All right. Well, listen. Let's leave that be. We're gonna have some chance to talk about the Nameless Ones again. So
that works.
But we do have Mappo see some Mappo and Icarium are talking about their memories a bit. Josh, you got to read on this Trell town that they were both in.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm not lying. I tried real hard with this stuff. It just feels like there's a couple pieces missing for me, and I don't know if they've already been given to me or not.
Well, there's still the ending of the book now, ain't there?
Yeah, true.
Afterwards, all the beasts show up, and beasts pop off, including the shapeshifter Grillin, and Icarium gets very upset. Inja, how'd you follow this kind of thorny melee?
Fine. They, what are you asking me? Are you asking me how I felt about it?
The Hound of Shadows are there too.
The dogs.
It's just exciting. I like the
dogs
fight.
out.
I think it's cool, and we're inside this. Yes, who let the dogs? But we're just inside all the thorns, and I don't know. I think it's cool.
Really difficult to understand what's happening. This chapter, probably because it was the last one, was even more difficult to follow. But I mean, I don't know. I was not.
Well, listen, I do agree with you that in my head, the exact physics and locations of where and what we're doing are somewhat lost, you know? I do follow you on that. I mean, I know we're, in this tunnel of roots, but, it's still somewhat ethereal.
And this is all on the way to the Azath house. They're not in it yet. They get right to it.
They're approaching it, and then Icarium enters this kind of frenzy, and then we see the Tano Spirit Walker's shell get thrown and kind of de-escalate the situation. And Josh, how do you feel about seeing that shell come back?
That shell?
The conch shell.
Oh, okay, so when he first grabbed it, I had absolutely no memory of what was happening.
Sure.
And then I was really hyped because I remember feeling excited about that character. What was he, a Tano voice walker? Is that what he was called?
Tano Spirit Walker.
Spirit Walker. I remember feeling I wonder if this guy's ultra fucking powerful in a way that I can't comprehend right now.
Yeah.
And then he threw that conch and I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, he is. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just it's one of those things where it's a seed that I forget. It's when you walk back to your childhood home and you're like, where'd this tree come from? And it's from a seed you forgot was planted long ago.
All right. Well, I don't know what the fuck that was, Josh.
What does it do? What is the conch?
It just exploded with sound and killed everything except for the good guys somehow. Although it's kind of unclear how.
It kind of like stunned everybody and calmed down Icarium.
Yeah.
Icarium went into sleep.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah, Icarium was knocked out, and then Mappo picks him up, and they all go on forward.
Mappo's got to be pretty strong.
Oh, Mappo's a beefy boy.
Mappo's bigger than Icarium.
Yeah.
Makes sense. He has to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're almost there, everybody, and finally we see.
Get me out!
All right, we see Felisin approach the oasis. She takes some orphans under her wing, and she gives this huge speech to the rest of her army now. What do we make of all this?
She's a little scary in command. She's like, I will say that as much as I think I don't quite love how she gets her powers, I'm honestly excited for how she's going to use them, because like Felisin beginning of this book would have been like 3 high priests who don't like me, spite, and killed them all, right? But like she's definitely matured and is just like, no, you can hate me, I'm going to use you.
Yeah.
I'm going to use you until you're useless, and then I'll fuck you, leave you in the dust.
She's gonna play the game.
She's gonna play that game.
Inge, how'd you feel about her arrival to this position of power? She's kind of fully ascended to the throne in a way.
Nothing is better than the line that she says, or what is it? Did you take it? Where she's something about her sister. Did you read it?
I don't have the book in front of me, if that's what you mean.
I do.
It's the last. It's like just so. It was good. It made everything.
Was it towards the end of the chapter?
Yeah, it was like she says, "Dear sister," and it's something pretty much along the lines of like, "Look what you've done. Like, look what like this. It's just
dear
power.
sister, see what. Dear sister, see what you've made."
It's so fierce.
Oh, juicy.
It's a fierce line. I really like it. I really like that line because it's like she's I'm gonna just go ahead and say, Peter, I respect what you said about, she got taken away from her town, broken down, came back, a badass bitch. Her sister just left her for dead, and she's like, look, bitch, it's on, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's fully right.
Yeah.
That was I mean, as annoying as she has been, and how annoying as it is that she's now like this like bad bitch, which I knew though that she would be eventually. It's pretty fierce. I really like it. I'm very intrigued to see if they like have some kind of like face off bullshit.
I love the hype of that moment. And Josh, I think your point's very interesting about the kind of, that she's willing to play that nuanced game. And and I think what's so interesting about Ericsson's choice of the word made.
Yeah,
I think that's powerful. Such an interesting word choice,
Because she really was made,
I agree. And that's how I somewhat feel about the whirlwind, because I think to me, part of her whole storyline is about having the lack of agency and kind of having these forces work on her in a way,
Yes. Now she's pulling the strings.
And at this moment, she is kind of choosing agents. Like she's making a choice in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, everybody. Well, that was a big episode. We really did the damn thing. Yeah, and honestly, I'm thrilled that we're getting to the end of this book, and I can't wait for us to finish it up next episode.
No one is more excited than I am to finish this book.
As always, we're 10 Very Big Books on Twitter and Gmail, and in our podcast notes, there's a link if you want to leave us a voice message. We got our first voice message ever, so that was very exciting.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
Moshe.
Wow, we really popped off. Anyway. So before we go, though, last chance to make a prediction about Deadhouse Gates. Josh, what do you got?
This is not a guess, this is a hope. I hope Icarium doesn't get trapped forever in, like, an endless hellscape that is the Azath house. I don't want that to happen.
India,
it's happening.
Last guess for what's going to happen in Deadhouse Gates before you know.
Well... this is tough. I don't fucking know. Like overall, in the end, I'd like a very distinct conversation and face off between Felisin and her bitch sister.
I don't think it's gonna happen this book, but I want it to happen sometime.
True, you're right. They're too far apart right now.
Well, I guess we're gonna see though. All right. Well, that's all for us now, and well, I guess the next time you'll see us, that'll be the end of this book. Huzzah!
Yeah.
Will it be?
Woo!
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Bye.
Hello everyone, producer AJ here, and I am very sleepy. Thank you as always for listening. If you want to help spread the word about the show, you can rate and review us on Apple Podcast. Like they said on the show, we got our very first voice message from Moshe, and we were literally talking about it all week. So thank you so much, Moshe. If you want to say some nice things to us, there should be a link in the episode description that will take you to Anchor, where you can send us a voice message. And as always, thank you so much to Dan Gesrick for making our spectacular logo. You can follow him on Twitter at Dan Gesrick for the hottest Timon and Pumbaa hockey player takes, and of course the incredible music in today's episode is by the one and the only Amaranthin from their album Simulant Rain, which you can find along with their other music on bandcamp.com. Links to their pages will be in the show notes, and 10 Very Big Books will be back in the new year on January 3rd with the finale of Deadhouse Gates. And as always, thanks so much for listening.